Hey guys, welcome back to our channel, Olivier and Alima. Today we have the pleasure again to receive 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗧 from 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗧. And today we're going to discuss about KDP. So 𝗘𝗫𝗧𝗧, go ahead and what do you have for us today?
Be strong.
Absolutely. So lots of goodies, hopefully lots of valuable information for everybody that's watching.
For sure.
I will share my screen and get started. So currently what we're looking at is Amazon, right? We're inside of the Kindle section of Amazon, and I'm looking at the spirituality sector. Now, most times when we want to build an ebook, what we want to do is make sure that we find a niche that has demand, but low enough competition where we can create an amazing book and stand out, right? So we can make our sales, we can make our money. And the thing is it's like anything else. The same way that with physical products, we want to have good traffic, we also want to convert. And so when it comes to those things, yes, you don't have to, first and foremost, right? You don't have to know exactly what you want to write if you want to become an author. You do not need to know what you want to write. So sometimes that means going into Kindle and going through categories and subcategories. Like I said, I'm currently in the spirituality section. And as you can see here, there's over 50,000 results still for spirituality. But as you're going through, you'll still see that this one only has 67 reviews, right?
Yes.
So 67 reviews is not the most amount of reviews or anything. If we come onto the market with 0 reviews, now this book still has 5 stars, but sometimes you'll find books that are only 4 stars or 3.5 stars or 4.2 stars or something, right? And you can still compete because it doesn't have the most amount of reviews, and you can analyze the listing to see, can I do something better with this book? Let's scroll down and see what this one has. 36 reviews, right? So 8 secrets to powerful manifesting. Now this right off the bat, I think we can do a better cover. So if this was a book we wanted to do, right, we could try to read into other people's reviews. We could take a look at what else is on the market and just simply try to attract more consumers based off of the cover alone. Now, what I was originally saying was it's like physical products, right? You want to have the traffic, but you also want to be converting. And this is where kind of Helium-10 tools come in. So Helium-10 tools can help you identify what to do better, what to write about, as well as how you want to market that book. So what do I mean? Let's take a look at a listing that has lots of reviews, right? This book, The Power of Your Subconscious Mind by Joseph Murphy. Now, do you know who Joseph Murphy is?
No, I don't know.
I don't know who Joseph Murphy is either, right? That's the point. The point is we have this author who is not super well known. I mean, he might be known to some, but I don't know who he is.
Yeah.
And yet he has 41,506 ratings.
That's a lot.
So that is a lot of ratings. That means his book is doing really well. That's just off the cuff, looking at his listing. That's without us using X-ray to see his estimated sales or any of that stuff. But let's take a look here. We can see that he actually has taken time to input a description. Now, you'll notice that not all books do this, especially the ones that are not on the bestsellers. I mean, the bestsellers, sometimes you'll see that all of them have a good description, but that is really what helps a book stand out, is catering and really speaking to your consumer. So here it says the power of your subconscious mind will open a world of success, happiness, prosperity, and peace for you. It's telling us what it's going to do, what it's about. And that is something that can appeal to a lot of people. I like this cover. This cover shows what your subconscious mind, I feel like it evokes emotion, right? And it's meaningful. It's showing us some sort of internal mindset. And so I like that. We also, if we scroll down, you'll see some popular highlights of the book and about the author. Now, this person has really optimized their listing space. And the way that they might have been able to do this, right, is maybe they did study this space. But what if you didn't study the space? What if you didn't know what book you were going to write and you're starting from a blank page. Let's talk about that.
Yes.
So let's say we have identified maybe a niche that we're interested in, or you're going through your manually, right, through different categories and subcategories, and you find a book that you think, maybe I want to write this book, right? Then what you could do is basically take a look at that listing, right? You could go down and copy the ASIN information and then take it over to Cerebro. Now, if you've watched the last video that I was in on this channel, then we know that Cerebro is one of our keyword research tools.
Yes.
Now, let's click Get Keywords, and you'll see some of the same information pop up. So we have the Cerebro IQ score, which is a ratio between your search volume and your competing products. We also have the search volume. Now you'll notice the search volume is a little bit different on this book, right? It's somehow a bestseller, but the search volume seems kind of low. Let's try to filter it by clicking the column. There we go. Now you'll notice, check out those keyword phrases.
Book
They're not,
not related.
it's so vague, right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's so vague. And that's where the tricky part about Kindle comes in, is you have less filtered keywords, but also you have a little bit more broad in terms of keyword phrases sometimes. Now, this book specifically only had 36 reviews, so I'm assuming that it's just getting started. If we were to take a look at, let's say, this book, right? So something that's still sort of in the same niche. This one was about manifestation, right? This one is about the power of your subconscious mind. It's still somewhat about manifestation, it seems like, right?
Yes.
So let's take a book that is in the same space. You can go down and let me showcase what looking at a book that is possibly a competitor or has been around for longer can do for you. So let's input a second book and click Get Keywords. Let's click Run New Search, because of course that data is always changing. We'll give it a second here. And the important part about Cerebro when it comes to Kindle is it's amazing to run this before you've even written your book. So when you're writing your book, right? And especially if you just picked it based off of the demand and the opportunity it presents, this can help you build your chapters. And I think that is such an exciting thing, because now you're really speaking to your consumer. Not only will your listing be nice afterwards, right? Like that's the marketing side of things. But this specifically, you can use to take a look at what are people searching up and then incorporate it as actual chapters in your book. So here, let's see, we have Call of Magic, the power of your subconscious mind. We have Grow Rich with the power of your subconscious mind. So this person's specifically looking for money-based things if they're searching this, right? Control your mind. Right. Control your mind and master your feelings. So somebody who wants some emotional stability in their life. We also, if we keep going down, we have the Principle of Love and Desire. So these are books that, or keywords rather, that this book is appearing for. So it's interesting to see, especially if you go back up, right? And this is, again, you can start taking notes here, right, guys? You can sit down, you can write down what keywords you're seeing, what book topics are relevant to whatever you want to create. And then you can also go up to your position and rank. And I'm not entirely sure. Let's see what pops up if we go 1 to 10 and click Apply Filters. Nothing, because we have that second book in there. Let's retry that. Because we had 2 ASINs, it was looking for things that both of those ASINs would rank for.
That's true.
So let's see here.
So it's better in our research to grab a listing with a lot of reviews, maybe a long story.
It is, especially one that's in that niche. Yeah, because the idea, right, is to emulate the success, right, that a book is seeing. So it's awesome that you can use a tool like this to take a look at your competitor listings, see what keywords are being used. So what are they ranking for? What are people searching up? You can use it to construct your chapters. You can use it to build your listing. You can use it to create your cover art. If you see somebody talking about growing rich with the power of your subconscious mind, what do you want on that cover? You want something that appeals to that money mindset, right?
Yeah.
If you have something that's talking about emotional stability, then maybe you want a scale of sorts. So things that really help you pull your book together, but using information that's already out there so you know it's working, you know it's being searched for. And here we have, all right, so we have the organic rank right here that we see. This book is ranking 1, 2 for these different things. We have psychologist romance. Interesting. Okay, I'm kind of intrigued. That is definitely not where I thought it was going to take me. Let's go back.
But sometimes it's interesting because Amazon, because someone was sometimes looking for a book and then he buy another book. Then in the back, Amazon will link the 2 books, the keyword and the books, even if it's not related. So
yes.
Kind of tricky sometimes.
It is. But that's why it's so important to really take a look at your keywords. Don't just look at them and be like, yep, this will work. You want to click higher intelligence, agency, wealth into power. What does wealth into power really, what kind of books does it have? So this one seems relevant, right? This one, wealth into power. It only has 524 results. And as you go down, you see the power of your subconscious mind book pop up. You have Unleash. This one only has 79 reviews, but 3 stars. I mean, 2.9. You guys can totally build a better book, right?
Yeah, definitely.
So it's just things to look at. You can find books that you can enhance, but also you can create your chapters through too. Now here you can take note of all these words, and just like my last video, you can, once you have it filtered down, now obviously I haven't really filtered this down. You would want to, you can X things out using this trash icon. You can filter using these advanced filters up here. And then once you have it narrowed down, you can click add to my list and create a folder and save it. And if you don't save it that way, you can obviously do it the manual way, whatever works for you. Okay. No right or wrong way to do this. But another way, right, outside of Cerebro and just using keyword research tools, another thing you can do is actually take a look at review insights. So I don't know about you, but I don't have the time or emotional capacity to filter through 41,506 reviews for one book, right? That's a lot. So I can scroll down and I can, I can sit there and try to read all of these, but using a tool to really filter that information quickly can be really beneficial. So if you don't have the Chrome extension involved, first and foremost, definitely get that installed. You can go to, I'll actually do it with you, helium10.com/extension. And when you do that, mine says remove from Chrome. Yours will say add to Chrome, but it is free. So anybody that's watching this should be able to actually download this for free and use it. Now, once you have that installed and you have a listing like this with 40,000 plus or, thousands of reviews, you can click it and click review insights. Now, once you have that, you have some parameters here that you can input. Mine has a date set. You can play around with this, pick as you'd like. But this one says November 1st, 2019 to April 5th, 2022. And then you can select whether you want verified, helpful images, videos, etc. Up to you. As well as negative reviews only, positive reviews only, or maybe you want to see all of them, right? Let's click all of them and see what pops up. And you guys, again, if you want to see if a book specifically talks about, some topic that you're thinking of, or does somebody who's reading the subconscious mind, are they interested in destiny? Are they interested in fate? You can type in specific keywords here as well to extract reviews. Now, the benefit of using review insights, right, for especially listings that have thousands of reviews, is you'll quickly narrow down what you're looking for. In the top left-hand corner, you see total reviews found based off the date and the input that we did. So here you have how many reviews were added on what date. This one seems like it's pretty consistent. You can drag and highlight to zoom in per usual. You have the average rating in that time frame. You have the review distribution, but most importantly, you have your top helpful reviews and your top phrases. And what that will do for you is here you see need a magnifying glass to read it. That doesn't sound too fun. But this particular book has print that is so ridiculously small, you'll suffer from severe eye strain in no time attempting to read it. Look how much font is on each page. It's crazy. I've never seen such small font. Not for the universal reader. Some of the concepts are good, but it looks like this book is only for Christians. We also have a lot of repetitive statements, lots of words with no depth. For me, a waste of money, outrageous claims, but unconvincing. I mean, this book is toxic. Like you can see. So this book is very, not my opinion. I'm just reading what other people have said.
Exactly.
Right. But here you can see what people like and don't like about the book. Now, most of the ones we just read were critical reviews, right? But again, if you want to see only the positive stuff, you can filter it out. Let's click extract reviews again. And it'll show you what is good about this book. And how you can use this is the same way that we were trying to use Cerebro, is you can figure out how you want to structure your book, what you want to change. For example, the font thing, don't have small font, right? Exactly. The whole Christian mentality, no worries. I mean, if that's your niche, that's your niche. But if you know that you want to create a subconscious mind book for people who maybe didn't like that it was that was a book that was specifically talking about the Bible and Jesus, then you would be able to get an understanding of what those consumers are really looking for by taking a deeper look at these reviews. Here it says, dealing with depression and failures the last 4 to 5 years, watched 1,000+ motivational, inspirational YouTube videos, but didn't overcome my problem. Finally found this book recommendation. This was the reading time, understood it, everything you desire. This book has lots more. So there wasn't really any context here of like what they liked about the book. But as you go down, I'm sure we can find some stuff. This book will work for you if you have an open mind. If you apply teachings, that lesson to truly trust and believe that you hold all the power is the most powerful lesson you can learn in life. Now, this to you might seem generic, right? But to truly trust and believe you hold all the power, that could be a chapter in and of itself, right? For the subconscious mind, you can build a chapter maybe based around control and taking 100% responsibility for your life. So no matter what happens, whether it's external or something that didn't go your way that day, to not let that small section really define you and to let yourself have the control. So even if something else happens, knowing that, you know what, I have the control to respond to this in the way that I want. So this is a simple line, but you can go so much deeper and build something around this, knowing that your consumer is happy and excited about that teaching specifically.
Yes.
We also have top phrases. This one is quite generic. Let's go into review analysis. So here, all of this mostly says review amazing book. This one says change your life. It'll help you identify all the reviews that specifically talk about change your life and maybe why it's changed their life. So it's really about also identifying impact. If you have a specific impact you want to have, you can take a look at those reviews based off of what people are saying. This one says power of your subconscious. It says 21 people use that in their review. Most of them have an average of 4.9. You can go down and see exactly what they're saying about that book or that phrase.
So we can use those phrases for our keywords and so on, and even to write the book as you mentioned.
Yes, you absolutely can. That is another thing you can do. Here I'm trying to go through and see if there's load 100 more. Let's see. Easy to understand. Well, why is this easy to understand? Do we have any information on this? I recommend this to anybody interested in the topic of law of attraction. So that could be a keyword that we want to possibly target. We know that there's a very popular book out there called The Secret by that talks about the law of attraction. Maybe some of the keywords for that book are keywords you would want to target for this book if that is something you incorporate. So again, really useful just to draw information to see what people are talking about, what they like, what they don't like, and then what additional books you might want to take a look at the keywords for. Now, that is everything that we can talk about or use, right? Like those are some ways that we can use to identify keywords and all that great information that can really help you index and convert that traffic that you're receiving. But outside of that, we also have Magnet, which is very similar to Cerebro, but you input a keyword for more keywords. And then, of course, as you're building out these lists and you're saving them, they will all populate inside of My List keywords. And when you're in My List keywords, right, we talked about this in the last video, you can take all of this, process it, and put it into Listing Builder. Now, Listing Builder, when it comes to Kindle, right, is a little bit different because on Kindle, it's not the same as Seller Central. When we're inside of a Kindle listing, right, and I have one of my listings pulled up here, you have 4,000 characters you can use for the description. And then you have 7 search keywords you can use to describe your book. Now, when we're going into Listing Builder and we click Add a Listing, you won't be able to pull from Kindle just yet. That is something we're working on expanding. However, the Create from Scratch, we would click Get Started. You can click, begin building your list by pulling from those lists that you had originally created. So let's go down. I feel like I remember at some point building out a Kindle book one, but even if I don't, actually, let's just pick a random. Oh, here. Okay, Kindle.
Yeah.
There we go. So this one, The Power of Your. Oh, perfect. It's actually for the same book, it seems like, or a similar book anyway.
Yeah.
So here, let's click Next. You would be able to change your bytes information. So here we can keep product title as is, but bullet points, let's go ahead and change that to 4,000 since that is what the character description is for Kindle. And then you would be able to keep an eye on the keywords that are being used. The words are sorted by word frequency, whereas the phrases are sorted by search volume. Okay, so these are color coded in terms of frequency and search volume, with red being the most searched for, and then the cooler tones, usually there's gray underneath, the blue being searched for the least. Again, all of these are searched for because the point of Listing Builder, by the time that you are getting to Listing Builder, you have already used tools like Cerebro, Magnet, Frankenstein to really narrow down the keywords you want to be using. You know that they're search volume keywords that people are looking for, that are inside of your book, that hopefully you've used to construct your book. And then that way, when you're getting here, you're really just using all that information to your advantage. And as you're typing things in, so if I wanted to say the power of the subconscious mind can move the needle, your life further than you have ever imagined. In this book, we discuss the psychology of money and what else can we do? You
the power
can
of your
utilize,
subconscious.
yeah, you can
I saw it.
utilize the information gifted to you in this book to find your miracle, right? Something like that. And what we see here is, oh, I accidentally wrote it in the one underneath. Let's change that. Control X. So here, since we changed it to 4,000 bytes, it's still letting me, continue writing.
Yeah.
And here you can see it get crossed off. So we used the psychology of money. We used Find Your Miracle.
Yeah.
And here you can see they're highlighted in terms of color coding as well. Now up here, the words are getting crossed off. You can see as you scroll down, you have a generated search volume, and your generated search volume will tell you what the potential of that is. All these keywords, you have the potential 80,000 from these words. This is what our 1 or 2 sentences here is doing for us. And as you build out your 4,000 character description, as well as you pick your 7 backend keywords, this listing quality score won't be as accurate because this is built for a physical product. However, it is really useful just for the search volume alone, honestly.
Yeah,
so
definitely.
This, don't you agree?
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, it's really cool just to see how the extendability of your listing is looking. And outside of that, you'll also be able to see what is getting crossed off. So let's say you had a much more concise list, right, of words and phrases. What ends up happening is hopefully what you want to have is you're crossing all of them off, and then some maybe that aren't as relevant. So maybe here, even if we're taking a look, right, and we see that it says maybe bestsellers self-help, right? That's not something that we necessarily want to have in our listing.
And I'm pretty sure it's not even authorized by Amazon to have a bestseller in the listing. So
right, it's not the most relevant. So I don't believe this is the best example. But let's say we had something like bestseller self-help subconscious mind, or something that was a little bit more relevant. Then we would know that because we're not using it on our front end, we would possibly want to use it for our back end. Now, going forward, I'm going to cover just a couple more things here. We also do have a keyword tracker. So when you go to tools and then you go to the, where is it? I can't even spot it. Oh, there it is. Analytics, right? So here we have the keyword tracker and the market tracker. And both of these things are super cool. So I don't currently believe I have a book set up yet on this account. So if we click add new product, you would be able to import an ASIN or write an ASIN in. So here, let's say we wanted to take a look at this book. Let's go down, get that ASIN, control copy that. And then I'll paste that in. And then maybe I want to see how my book is ranking for the power of the subconscious mind, psychology of money, and then what was it? Wealth into power. So maybe you have a list, right, that you made in Cerebro that you can copy and paste here. For now, I'm just writing a few in so you can take a look at the process, but you would want to click start tracking. You've already added this ASIN to keyword tracker. I have. Oh, it's right here. What the heck? Okay. All right. So as I click it, right, you can take a look at how it's doing. Now, this is doing terrible for these keywords. Right? So these keywords are not super relevant.
So this tool basically will track the book based on the keywords.
Yes, exactly. So instead of you going through and trying to figure out which keywords or which, rank your book has for a set of different keywords, you can just input the keywords you're interested in tracking, and then just quickly come back to this tool every now and then and take a look at how your book is doing. Now, you can do the same thing in Cerebro. So Cerebro, right now, we've only talked about it to use pre-making your book or to essentially check your competitors, but you can do it for your own book once you have it up and running, right?
Oh, that's good.
So yeah, so when you go into Cerebro and you have your book up, just input your ASIN and you can quickly see where you're ranking for a bunch of different keywords. Which is super helpful. But also you can use keyword tracker to specifically take a look at those keywords that you really care about. And here you can monitor how many books you would have to give away on discount over 8 days to rank on the first page. That search volume and how it's changing. So if I click the graph, it'll tell me how it's changed, as well as the organic and sponsored ranks.
I really like this tool because for a new book, for example, or for a new book, if you put your ASIN here and you add a bunch of keywords, after 1 week, 2 weeks, you can come back and check if your book is ranking for those keywords and so on. So that you can do some adjustment if needed. That's very good.
Yes, exactly. So I love this tool. Like I said, I haven't really monitored the power of your subconscious mind because it's neither a niche, it's not a niche I'm in, and nor is it my book. But this would be really helpful if this was your book. You could really monitor it and make sure that you're on top of things. Now, we do have market tracker as well. And this is the last thing I'll really talk about today for KDP. But market tracker is interesting because you can click create new market. And when you click create new market, you can input keywords. So you could input the power of your subconscious mind, whatever keyword is relevant to your book, as well as an ASIN if you would like, and click create market. Now, I'm going to just show you a created market so you can take a look at what the information really provides you with. Since I don't have a pre-built one here for books, but I'm just going to click coffin related. And here it will show you your market. And the thing about this is you can tweak it. So here you'll be suggested with a bunch of different products. Let me see the suggested product suggestions. So once you input your ASIN and your keywords, this tool will give you additional different products that people are probably searching at the same time, that they're possibly buying with that book, or that Amazon feels is relevant, and you can choose to either track it or to ignore it. And that way you start to build a market that you are interested in monitoring. It'll tell you your market share, as well as your market volume, and how your product is really stacking up to the products that you are beginning to track. Now, you would want to highlight, this is my product, once you have your product up, but it can give you a lot of really great information of what that sales share is, that market share is, as well as the estimated sales and revenue. Now, typically this is available for physical products. I don't believe that's something that's available for the Kindle market just yet. However, it is really cool just to see how your book is stacking up in the general competitors area for you and for your niche. So two things definitely that I would recommend doing after your book is up is to check Cerebro, right? Take a look at your rankings, be on top of it with Keyword Tracker, and then maybe start to build a market for yourself. Now, Keyword Tracker is the first and foremost thing I recommend that you definitely check in on to see how your book is doing. But again, this is also really helpful just to see how your space is changing on a day-to-day basis.
Yeah, definitely, to see the new competitors and so on. This is very good. This is really helpful. Yeah.
Yeah, so those are really all the tools right now that we have for KDP and in accordance with Helium-10 tools. But again, it's an expanding space, and we're really excited about how that is going to really tap into the Kindle space in the coming future.
Thank you very much, 𝗘𝗫𝗧. It was a pleasure to have you. And you guys, if you have any question for 𝗘𝗫𝗧, please comment below. Thank you again for your time, and see you next time.
Yes, see you next time.
Bye-bye.